This is the beginning of a conversation about the importance of social and cultural dynamics in all of our interactions. This is not just about that it matters, but how, why, and when it matters. Let's start with introductions. My name is Audrey, and I'm an American. To be an American means a lot of different things to different people. For example, the story many Americans tell themselves about the American way of life is that it is embodied by equality, opportunity, and our work ethic. Yet most Americans remain unmindful of the negative impression that America has been making on the rest of humanity via our popular culture or media representations. Just think, foreign box office, music, TV sitcoms, and video game revenues have grown faster than domestic. Consider this anecdote. A Syrian teacher of English asks for help in explaining American family life to her students. She asks, "Does Friends show a typical family?" Our media representations are frequently dominated by contradictions, such as advocating human rights while engaging in war and maintaining Guantanamo Bay, using unmanned aerial vehicles and providing humanitarian assistance. You don't have to have a value judgment on any of these things to know that these are incomplete representations of America, all of which offer a distorted, wildly incomplete perception of who we are as Americans, and even more incomplete about who you are or who I am as an individual. Doesn't that make you take a step back and question how we view the rest of the world?
No, it's the Japanese!
Open Gangnam Style.
This is enough for one cockroach. Pick one.
Finding people is my specialty, so naturally I worked for the Nazis finding people, and yes, some of them were Jews, but Jew hunter? Just a name that stuck.
The butler is basically saying to Johannes Chimpo, don't let the great Satan tempt you with the Western culture. You must remain true to the Taliban warlord.
Durka Allah, Muhammad Jihad. Bagala, Muhammad Jihad. Bagala, Muhammad Jihad, Allah, Durka, Muhammad Jihad, Muhammad Jihad. Oh, shit.
Like so much in this world, we sometimes try to reduce other cultures to those concise, condensed, three main points that are easily understandable. Understanding culture or any individual cannot be achieved through a process akin to speed dating. Culture is typically touched on in descriptions, reporting, or analyses as peripheral factors described with passing references and often in general and superficial terms. There is a demonstrated need for help in isolating and understanding the complexity, weight, and relevance of culture as anyone or any organization considers their approach to strategy and operations. One of the leading lessons of the last decade is the importance of the human dimension preceding, during, and following conflict. In seeking to understand the people of different places, we must make the complex and fluid comprehensible without oversimplifying it. This is why culture is largely considered one of the 2 or 3 most familiar but complicated words in the English language. There are over 164 distinct definitions of culture that were cataloged in the middle of the 20th century alone. Simply having access to cultural and social information on diverse populations doesn't ensure seeing what matters. It is human to see what we want or expect to see. In analyzing the human dimension across the world, we need to be comfortable with the possibility that there are other valid approaches to thinking about the world. We can do this through socio-cultural analysis. Socio-cultural analysis is informing the understanding of people by analyzing societies, populations, and other groups of people, including their activities, relationships, and perspectives across time and space at varying scales. Most people can look at this definition and feel confident that they know this. Why then, when it comes to application, is it so difficult? Not all aspects of cultural and social dynamics matter for our interaction and understanding at a specific time for a specific reason. Additionally, too often people reduce individuals to one or a few known identities without duly considering that people will at times operate independently of these factors. We need to open up our way of thinking about motivation, identity, and affiliation. Socio-cultural analysis doesn't just address that social and cultural dynamics matter, but how and why they matter when they do. The process focuses on how people interact with and respond to society, essentially looking at how players manage their roles. No environment exists in a social or cultural vacuum. Therefore, this kind of analysis enables an understanding of how intent, motivation, and values shape decisions and behavior in both everyday life and how they respond to and adapt to times of stress. This includes examining the individual, social groups, networks, loose collectivities, and social movements, but it always begins and ends with getting behind the behavior of the adaptive, dynamic, individual mind. The interpreted reality for someone on the ground at that time is a reality for them, despite what history or anyone else has to say. Sociocultural analysis puts behavior in context by demonstrating the relevance of what is not easily observed. In the next few months, I will release 2 new videos that provide you with some initial frameworks to begin applying sociocultural analysis in different ways. The first video will explore the different ways in which culture is commonly both understated and overstated. It closes with suggesting ways to use critical thinking techniques to structure your analytic reasoning about culture. The second video will provide a framework to enable analysis of power dynamics through the layers of human geography, livelihoods, identity factors, and narratives. To provide feedback and for more information on sociocultural analysis or sociocultural analysis training, please contact us at youtube@courageservices.com. For your information, the next slide will provide you with sources utilized to make this video. I will leave you with that, and thanks again. Ciao for now.